The sea's silence can deceive. Even when it seems quiet, it speaks in whispers. In the days after the USS Cyclops disappeared, the Atlantic waited in uneasy stillness. Inside the U.S. Navy Communication Division in Washington, telegrams and reports piled up faster than anyone could read them. The Cyclops had left Barbados on March 4, 1918, bound for Baltimore. 9 days later, she should have docked. Instead, nothing. No message, no echo, no sign of life. For the first 2 days, naval operators monitored the emergency frequency of 600 kHz. Silence, no SOS, no atmospheric static. But then came something new, a faint rhythm of dots and dashes, too weak to decode yet too deliberate to ignore. Stations in Puerto Rico, Key West, Norfolk, and Nassau began reporting the same phenomenon, always from the same bearing, the Central Atlantic. The first official entry came on March 10, 1918, from Key West Naval Station. It described electrical pulses resembling Morse, irregular but repetitive. Chief Operator Thomas H. Griffin wrote, "At approximately 22 hours we received a pattern of 3 short signals followed by 1 long, repeated 7 times. Signal strength fluctuated with atmospheric conditions. Bearing appeared east, no response obtained." Those 4 beats, 3 short, 1 long, would soon become legend among Navy operators, the heartbeat of the Cyclops. March 1918 was chaos for naval communications. World War I filled the air with encrypted traffic between convoys, submarines, and bases. Interference was constant. Every hiss and click might be a call for help. On March 12th, the destroyer USS Allen reported hearing a faint signal containing the letters CYC. The log was forwarded to Washington. No correlation could be confirmed. By March 17th, similar reports arrived from Nassau and Bermuda. One radio officer, George Ellis, scribbled in his diary, "Each dawn I hear something trying to form words. Sometimes it's only wind across the wire. Other times, I swear someone is answering." By April, scientists at the U.S. Naval Observatory suggested that the signals were atmospheric reflections, distant transmissions bouncing off ionized air layers, yet every report pinpointed the same coordinates, roughly 28° N, 66° W, between Bermuda and Puerto Rico. If those were mere reflections, the bearings should have shifted nightly. They did not. That consistency revived a fragile hope. Maybe the Cyclops was still adrift, powerless, but alive. Naval Command launched Operation Echo, a coordinated sea and radio search. From April to May 1918, 8 U.S. ships scoured the mid-Atlantic. Among them were the USS Baltimore, USS Sterett, and USS Neptune. They found no wreckage. But crews reported something odd. As they neared the target area, their radios filled with a steady hum, unlike any known interference. When they turned away, the noise vanished. The Sterett's commander noted, "Interference appeared subaquatic in nature. Volume increased with depth of surrounding waters." It was the first recorded mention of what oceanographers later called the Western Atlantic Acoustic Anomaly. In June 1918, months after the search ended, civilian ships began filing similar reports. The SS Patagonia, en route from Buenos Aires to New York, intercepted a weak signal, 3 dots and a dash, the same pattern from Key West. Captain Robert Hayes wrote, "It sounded metallic, as if rising from beneath the sea, not radio static, pulses. 2 minutes long, then gone." The Navy dismissed it curtly. Natural phenomenon, case closed. But among radio men the legend grew, signals without a sender. That summer, the New York Times headline read, "Strange radio calls revive hope for missing Collier." Public fascination surged, then faded as evidence failed to appear. Still, the notion that the Cyclops had tried to speak before vanishing embedded itself into popular lore. Decades later, writers would weave these incidents into the mythology of the Bermuda Triangle, and Cyclops became its first ghost. Today, we know that the Naval Communications Service logged 37 unidentified signal events between March and June 1918. Most were brief bursts lacking coherent code. Several operated just below standard naval frequencies, consistent with a damaged transmitter. Others were acoustic, not electromagnetic, low-frequency vibrations caught by submarine hydrophones. Analysts described patterns mimicking the rhythm of steam engines or metallic knocking. A 1920 summary concluded, though direct connection to Cyclops cannot be proven, signals persisted for weeks in the presumed area of loss. In 1919, after the war, fishermen near Bermuda reported hearing deep, drum-like sounds from beneath calm waters. The Navy dispatched the survey vessel USS Rehoboth. Hydrophone readings detected vibrations from 3,000 meters below. Researchers suggested mild seismic activity, yet could not rule out collapsed metallic structures on the seabed. It was the closest the world had come to hearing the Cyclops again. What most perplexed investigators was not the noise, but the absence of it. No SOS, no explosion, nothing heard by any ship in range. Oceanographer Dr. John Reinhardt in 1932 wrote, "Cyclops vanished in absolute calm. Such silence does not accompany natural disasters, only instantaneous failure." Perhaps the ship broke apart so quickly that sound itself had no time to travel. The sea closed before the echo began. A century later, NOAA and the University of Miami revisited the data using acoustic propagation models. Their conclusion, the 1918 anomalies coincided with sound channel convergence zones, pathways that can carry low-frequency noise for thousands of miles. In other words, the beats of the Cyclops might have been distant echoes, or just maybe the dying pulse of the ship itself, resonating through layers of water. All that remains are fragments, coordinates, typed reports stained with salt. Among them, one sheet dated March 14, 1918 stands out. 02:14 a.m. 4 signals, increasing intensity. Heavy interference, possible out-of-band transmission. No identification. Source: Western Atlantic. No explanation follows. Only 2 words, scrawled at the bottom, no response. All that remains are fragments, coordinates, typed reports stained with salt. Among them, one sheet dated March 14, 1918 stands out. 02:14 a.m. 4 signals, increasing intensity. Heavy interference. Possible out-of-band transmission. No identification. Source: Western Atlantic. No explanation follows. Only 2 words scrawled at the bottom. No response. By June 1918, the signals stopped. The ocean kept its secret. Official files were closed, marked cause unknown. But within the yellowed pages of those archives lies a different story of men trying to answer a call no one could hear. Perhaps it was interference. Perhaps it was the final breath of the Cyclops. Either way, its echo remains, 3 short, 1 long, and then silence.